Hi, I'm Cookie. If you play finals, or maybe one of the devs might see this, you've maybe seen the talk about Sword recently. This is due to the fact that developers started banning players for exploiting and bug abusing. As a top 100 Sword player myself, I'm kinda washed right now though, didn't play for a while, I can maybe give some insight to what's happening from my view, as well as some behind the scenes, and offer some advice to the developers that honestly comes from a place of community driven passion and love for the game. What it really should be about. If you already know what's going on with the exploits and everything, you can skip the next part. I will go in depth about them though. If you need them, I put timestamps below. Okay, let's first talk about what this is about. Sword tags, or rather exploits now. The main ones to talk about that increase the time to kill are emote cancels and phantom strikes. The sword lunge has a lingering hitbox and a recovery timer that can be reset with selecting any emote, expression, or weapon swap. This allows you to start a new lunge immediately, therefore called emote cancel. It was found early February by Vayne and sparked a debate even in the sword community on whether we should use it or not. The most prevalent voice against it being Adorian, who still refuses to use it. It can bring down the time to kill on heavies from about 2.3 seconds down to about 2 seconds, which makes it on par with the less controversial quick melee combo that we used before. These times, of course, can't be determined exactly because of how the lunge works in actual combat. On medium, this changes to about a second when both lunges immediately connect. The normal combo would be a lunge combined with a quick melee and an M1 swing that will take about 1.14 seconds. Against lights, these tags are completely irrelevant because you can one-shot them in any case by lunging into a quick melee. The other big one is Phantom Strikes. While recovering from a regular M1 hit or from a lunge, you can time an additional M1 hit while charging up lunge to perform an invisible extra hit. This, of course, shreds mediums really fast and allows for heavy to be killed in the time of 2 lunges. This one was known since early February as well, and was shared by Gressel on the Melee Discord we have. Not quite sure who found it originally. A heavy will go down in about 1.5 seconds compared to the regular 2.3. Again, these times, of course, can't be determined exactly because of how the lunge works in actual combat, but they do give a good comparison. For the medium, the Phantom Strikes take about 1.06 seconds and comes really close to the regular time of 1.14 seconds. These times might seem low on their own, but comparing them to the other weapons like the XP45 with the potential to kill a heavy in 1.26 seconds from a distance, or the M60 from another heavy with the potential of killing another heavy in 1.5 seconds, this is a different story. Especially since being in melee range, you're in danger to not only weapons like flamethrowers, rocket launchers, or different stuff, but melee charges that could one-shot you, for example. They did patch it out really recently though, if I remember correctly. The difference between many people preferring the emote cancel over the Phantom Strikes is that they are way more consistent. If you fail a combo, you will be almost guaranteed to die immediately. There are plenty of other small things you can do, like the aggressor vault that allows you to chase people vertically, or lunge slides that help you with movement and new stuff that gets found regularly. By the way, please don't murder me for still calling it Gristlebolt. I love you. Right now, using those now labeled exploits means you can get banned if someone manually reports you. Now that everyone understands what I'm talking about, let me tell you why someone like me isn't just like mad about getting their exploit fixed. Ever since the launch in December, and probably even before, people talked about the meta. What's the best class, what's the best weapon, what's the best combination of gadgets and whatnot. Aside from all that, was a small group of gremlins desperate enough to be different, that they wanted to play a melee weapon in a shooter game on the class that back then was one-shot to everything. Rocket launcher? Nukes?
So busted, holy fuck.
A singular mine? But still. Learning the first combos, getting your first solo team wipe, getting your first big kill game with such an absurd off-meta weapon was simply fun. It was considered the ultimate throw pick, when you come to a gunfight and whip out your Attack on Titan wannabe medieval looking shank. So we kinda had to be creative. Groups and streamers started forming, looking up to each other, challenging each other to be better, and practicing different combos or playstyles. Every time a new combo or trick was found out, we shared it and improved as a group. It wasn't really a competition, it was more like a co-op experience of improving. It felt just like the Easter egg hunt that's still going on in the official Discord. It felt like we were getting respected, getting hyped up by other players in Discord when we played together, or even just listening to the devs. Embark Oscar, for example, said,
"What I would think about sword and dash players, say if you're capable of playing melee, like sword, in primarily an FPS game, you're cool by me, because I can't." That's very, very cool.
That's where we get to the problematic part of the story. We basically invested months, just about half a year since release, to improve and to just be on par with the top players or the meta in general. Openly inventing new things, because none of those texts were secret, just to get what feels like a slap on the wrist for limit testing and trying out off-meta things after a few months. What was missing the entire time was communication. Where is the line between tech and exploit? Is using quick melee to cancel shotgun animations considered an exploit? Is using auto-aim for a small dash considered an exploit? Is weapon swapping to cancel animations really exploiting? If that is, then why is it considered fine for other gadgets on, for example, heavy or medium, when it gives a huge advantage as well? We do want to play by the rules, but if we don't know where the cutoff between tech and exploit is, then it's really frustrating to spend time improving. Especially now, when playing the game means I have to be afraid of random bans. The big elephant in the room is that none of these techs absolutely break the game right now. They're fun to perform, but slightly annoying to play against. Why don't we see any sword players in the tippy top of the leaderboard? Because it's kinda really hard to pull off, and even in its current state, it's not really viable in high-level play. The light class itself isn't in a good competitive spot right now, but it's really fun to play. That's exactly why the casual game modes are filled with them. People that are getting killed by sword, 9 out of 10 cases you would have the same outcome if it's a good XP player, for example, that pops up behind you, if not worse. There are plenty players, like Gressel for example, that are climbing the leaderboards solo without ever using certain techs. The bigger issue, in my opinion, is that matchmaking will put you in unfair lobbies from time to time, Just because you're matched with a top 100 myself, for example, that probably has tripled or even quadrupled your playtime, it does not mean that it's the loadout or an unfair exploit that's the problem. Devs, please reconsider who you're punishing or even outright banning for exploiting. These exploits are known for a long time and have not seen any fixes. If you are working on fixing them and need time, please tell us and we'll happily offer our ideas to keep the weapon viable. If you're not planning on fixing them, why would you punish us for using the game's flaws to get creative? This approach will sadly again leave resentment in a big part of the community and kinda hurts what gives finals its own spin. The variety of fun and different weapons, techs and loadouts to play with and master. That's where I'll leave things off for now though. Big thanks for Gressel for the time to kill infos and every single one of the melee community for being really awesome. Let me know what you think of this whole drama down below, and I'll probably catch you live. Bye bye!